welcome back. My name is Shaquita, aka Makeup by Quee. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Also, as a disclaimer, if I failed to mention any products, check the description box below. Now let's jump into this video. So already I've went ahead and primed my eyelids using the p.louise Rumour 5 base, and then I am using the Juvia's Place Zulu palette, and I'm going to be using the brown shade and the yellow shade out of this palette. I am packing on the brown shade first, and then I'm going to use the yellow to blend out the edges of that brown. But first, sis, my lips was looking real chappy. You didn't even say anything, and I don't appreciate it. So let's get that out of the way. But just by the way, I forgot to lotion my hands. So right here is where I'm applying the yellow, and now I'm using the Morphe 39A palette, grabbing that brown shade just to make sure that we deepen up the outer V of this eye look. This eye look is a nice bronzy look, which complements women of color so well, you guys. So you just want to go in between the brushes, making sure that those three shades are well blended. And so you guys, have you noticed anything about my footage? Anything? I'll tell you. So girl, I have upgraded to a Canon T6 camera. So I was just flexing on this part. The lashes are from AliExpress, and I'll link in the description box below the exact lash. And right here I'm using the Tatcha silk canvas. I am not crazy about it. I'll give it a few more tries, but I don't see what the hype is about. And sis, if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. Click the bell to be notified when I upload. And also make sure you like this video. And comment below anything, any suggestions, what you would like to see next, what I could have done better. Your feedback is greatly appreciated, and it just helps my channel to grow, you guys. So for foundation, I'm using the Black Radiance foundation stick. On the inner part of my face, I'm using the shade Cocoa Bean, and into the outer part of my face, I am using the shade Espresso. So I noticed that with those two shades, I get my perfect foundation shade. And I also use these foundations as my everyday work foundation, basically. So comment below if you would like to see my regular schmegular work makeup look, and I'll go ahead and make sure I get that out to you guys. So now I'm making sure I go in between the two colors, making sure that they are well blended with each other and there's no line of demarcation between the two foundation colors. And then I'm going to go back and blend that foundation some more using a beauty sponge, and this just helps give it a more skin-like finish. And you also want to make sure that you tap or push the foundation into the skin, not swipe, because if you swipe, you're going to get streaky and you're going to be able to see through that foundation. So I'm using the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Concealer in the shade 450 just to highlight a little bit more, basically on the inner parts of my face. So all the parts that basically you see me highlighting now, those are the parts that we're gonna highlight, and then I'm gonna blend that out with the same sponge that I blended out the foundation with. And to set that concealer, I'm using the Wet n Wild Photo Focus setting powder in the shade Deep, and I am pressing that into the skin, especially under the eyes. If you have a couple of lines on your lower lid, you just want to look up just to make sure you press that powder into it. If not, that concealer is going to settle into those little wrinkles, and that's not cute, sis. You know, we want to look porcelain, darling. So yeah, just basically setting everywhere I applied that concealer, and then you want to keep pressing it into the skin until you no longer see that powder. And just press, 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 press. So to go ahead and bronze / contour, I'm using the Black Radiance True Complexion Contour Palette in the shade Dark to Deep. And I'm just focusing that on the outer parts of my face, mainly to outline my cheeks and right around the hairline and under the chin, and working it into the neck. And I'm using the lighter shade in that palette, the sculpting shade. I'm using that basically as a bronzer, and I'm using that same exact shade to go ahead and define my nose bone or nose contour, whatever you want to call it. We're just defining that and cleaning up that contour with powder. And then after that, I am using the contour shade in that palette, just applying it right there where like my cheeks kind of sink in at. I want to really define that, so I'm applying it like kind of like lower, and then I'm using that powder just to clean up the contour, just to give me a more sculpted look, to give my face some definition. And you just want to make sure you press that powder into the skin until you don't see it anymore. And I'm going to do that to both sides. And then after that, I'm going to brush off the powder, the excess powder that I had on my nose. And then now we're using the coverfx. I believe it's called the Perfector Face Palette. And I'm grabbing that blush and highlighter out of that palette. I love the blush and I love the highlighter, and I applied the highlighter off camera. And then afterwards, I'm just the same colors that I did in my crease, I'm applying it to the lower lid. And you guys, I do apologize, I'm still trying to learn this camera, so therefore I didn't realize that when I was cutting the crease, applying the shimmers, my camera cut off. I do apologize. We gonna get it right. And I'm just setting my face using the badescu facial water. This is the one that has the rose water, and I sprayed a little bit on my brush, and I'm just making sure I tap all over my face just to eliminate that powdery look. And this also helps to make your makeup look skin-like. And for lips, I'm using the Wet n Wild Color Icon Kohl liner in the shade Simma Brown. And then I'm going to apply my NYX Butter Gloss in the shade Ginger Snap. And that is all for today's video. I hope you've enjoyed my video. If so, thumbs up this video. If you're not already subscribed, click the bell below and get alerts each time I upload a video. Thank you, queens, for sticking with me. Leave a comment or suggestion below. And until next time, bye.